All right, team, I think we're recording. We're ready to rock and roll. So I've got Team Newton Abbot. So we've got Stuart and Nula, Mr. McDowell, Mr. Head Coach up there. We've got Shell and I've got Taylor. I don't know how the screen goes, but I can kind of see you like that. But how's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Yeah, very good.
Good. So I think it's good for your students and maybe students from the other Premier Academies to connect with you guys and see how you're doing and really learn about you guys off the mat. All right. So if I start with Stuart and Nula, I've known you guys for years and years and years. You guys were training with me down in sunny London for Donkey. Nula, you did a bit of kickboxing, some Jiu-Jitsu as well. I remember when we had the ladies Jiu-Jitsu classes. Stuart is an old school member from our kickboxing black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. My first MMA fighter, first pro guy. So we've got a big long history there, right? So I think the question is, how did you get started?
Myself, or should we go Nula first? Okay. My dad taught karate before I was born, and when I was younger, I was a little bit of a loose cannon, wild, and my dad wanted me to get in something for a bit of discipline. So he took me to his old instructor, and I'd done karate. Maybe I was about 6, 7 years old, and I'd done that for about a year. I didn't really enjoy it. I got to about a yellow belt. It was a lot of kata up and down the room, things like that. So when I was younger, yeah, maybe done about a year of karate. And then when I got to about 23, I put quite a bit of weight on, and I'm chunky again now. But when we first met, I was like a rake. And I was going to the pub quite a lot when I'm drinking and eating Dominoes all the time. So I knew I had to get fit and lose a bit of weight and that. And her brother had been in Thailand. Yeah, he'd been out to Thailand and trained. And I had another 5 mates, and they joined a kickboxing club. And they were like daring me, going, "Come along, you ain't gonna last like 5 minutes for this warm up." So I was like, "All right, like you dare me to do something, you know, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'll do it." And yeah, I went along and started doing the kickboxing. That club shut within 6 months, and then I went to another club, and I was there for about a year, and they moved, and it was weird because I didn't know what MMA was. I was with a friend, and he went, "I'm going to go and watch some MMA tonight, some cage fight." And I was like, "What's that?" Even though I'd been doing kickboxing for about 18 months by then. And he was like, "Yeah, it's in the Watford Coliseum." I was like, "What is it then?" He's going, "You're in a cage and you're fighting." I was like, "What?" I was like, "All right, I'll come along." And behold, I went there and I met you. you were coaching. You were coaching, and I had a broken arm there, didn't I? I'd been sparring with one of my friends, Sam, and we were sparring with no shinies on, and he kicked me and broke my arm. And I remember, yeah, chatting to you, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down." And
you know what? That story on my side. So one of you guys got your speakers up really loud because there's a lot of feedback.
Be me.
Could be me.
I remember that we had some guys fighting. I don't know, who was it? Was it Jamie Wells?
Jamie Wells, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a guy fighting that night, and I remember seeing you, this chubby drunk guy. Yeah, I'm gonna come. I was like, this guy's not doing anything, mate. He's not even gonna remember. He's not even gonna remember anything. Yeah, I'm coming. Lo and behold, I think the next couple of sessions you showed up, and the rest is history, huh?
I literally, if I had my cast off on the Monday, on the Tuesday, I come down to you. And I remember I was with a load of my friends, and all of us were going, "Yeah, we're going to come down," and I was the only one that showed up because it was literally probably 2 weeks. Well, as I broke my arm sparring, they were moving the gym. Like we was sparring in a cage, they were sparring in a ring, and they were moving out. The removals company had taken all the stuff, and yeah. So as that gym moved, it was weird. At the same time, I was in cast for 6 weeks, and then I met you, and yeah.
And that was that. And that kind of, we'll get onto your fighting later on, but that's how you kind of got connected with us, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. How long ago was that now? That's got to be 10 years or more.
more than that. I think it was 2008, maybe.
12 years.
Yeah.
12 years, about 12 years.
Yeah, I reckon it's about 12
Yeah.
years. Good work. And so your new recruits, now you've moved over from down sunny London way up to Devon, so I guess we'll chat about that a little bit more. But so now you've got new recruits down there, Shell and Taylor. How did you guys get involved in it? One, in martial arts generally, and two, involved with Premier up there? Let's go with Shell first. She's the growed up.
It's unbelievable. It is actually Karate Kid that I watched when I was about 7, 8 years of age. Managed to eke out my brother's like karate pajamas for 2 years, and then because I was an Air Force kiddie, we moved around, so clubs and things were never that great. Then we settled in sunny Boston, Lincolnshire when I was 10, and I within a week had joined a traditional Wado club. And I was there for 10 years. Halfway through that, joined freestyle or sport karate, and did some boxing on the side as well. And that was me, away I went. So from the age of 10, with only a gap with a broken arm, but that was horses, nothing to do with fighting. That's the only break I've had, really. But yeah, I've been training on and well, pretty much 30 years consistently in some kind of combat, whether it's boxing, traditional, freestyle, now kickboxing.
Very cool. I remember the Karate Kid when I was a kid. I started when I was 7. And I remember I wanted to be Johnny. Like I had a long party. I had a headband. I used to go training with my headband on. And
yeah, brilliant.
And I think I still want to be Johnny. Now they've rehashed the Karate Kid.
Yeah, it's still the old one. It's still the first one. Still the first.
Still Johnny.
And then only recently, in the past sort of 4 months, as soon as I started with Premier, I went and started the BJJ as well, which I'm absolutely loving. Really, really enjoying that. So yeah, a good cross section of everything. And yeah, that's my sort of life fighting, basically. I did compete many years only in the freestyle, doing the EMAs, WACO tournaments, SAP squads, SAP teams, and yeah, I loved it. Absolutely love it.
Pretty cool. I think Jiu-Jitsu is a nice thing to add to the bow if you've had a lot of kickboxing or a traditional martial art, some kind of striking, to be involved in something that's so different. I think sometimes if you do karate or taekwondo or kickboxing, a lot of it can translate. You know, a front kick, a turning kick, it's similar. You know, it may have some differences, but striking is striking.
Yeah.
However, when you get to the realms of getting choked and arm locked and double legged, it's a completely different world altogether, which makes it
frustrating world.
Yeah.
Me crackers.
So Taylor, how did you get involved?
Well, my martial arts career really started not that long ago, about 3 years ago, but because I played rugby, quite high level rugby, for the majority of my life, so about 10 to 11 years. And then when I moved back up to London for university, I stopped playing rugby. And then when I came back, because I hadn't done any sport for ages, I kind of needed to get into something, and I boxed a little bit before. And I've watched MMA since Brock Lesnar came in and won the heavyweight title, because I was a WWE fan, and when I heard he was doing another sport, I was like, I need to see what this is about. So I've always been a sort of UFC MMA fan, but I never knew of anywhere that did it sort of around the area that I lived. So when I came back, one of my friends was at a little local club, which it wasn't really officiated. It was just, this guy was kind of just doing it to make money, I think. But I learned a few basic things there, and then went back up to London. I went to a little club in Chelsea and did a bit of MMA there. And then when I came back to Devon again, I went to a club in Torquay doing MMA, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So for the first year of my martial arts, it was kind of on and off. I wasn't really committed to it. It was just like a new hobby. And then when I come down to Torquay, that's when I kind of committed my time to it. Every single day I was training. And then they stopped MMA, and that's what I wanted to do. So I was just doing Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as two separate things there. I fought for that club in Muay Thai. And then when I heard that Premier was opening up, I actually heard it from Stuart's brother-in-law, Ollie Furs. He was tattooing one of my friends, And I said that I was an MMA fighter, and he was like, "Oh, my brother-in-law's opening a gym in Newton Abbot soon." And then when I heard Premier was opening up, I messaged my coach saying, "No hard feelings, mate, but I want to do MMA, so I'm going to go to Newton Abbot and see what this is like." Went for my trial session, and yeah, I was hooked. I was hooked straight away, and I've been there ever since, just over a year now.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to what we're doing. We have so many students that have done stuff before somewhere else, which, you know, definitely serves them in good stead, whether they've boxed a little or karate a little bit, or you've done something somewhere. But it's nice that when they experience what's going on at Premier, whether it be down where you guys are in Devon or down here or up here, whichever way direction we're in, there always seems to be something that keeps you hooked. You know, the other clubs, nothing to say, they're nice clubs, but when you come to Premier, I think there's that different. Number one, I think there's a family atmosphere, but two, I think the level.
Yeah, definitely.
The level of coaching, the level of tuition, the level of martial arts is so different. You know, I know so many martial arts instructors and people, and you know, they're good at what they do, but I think that to have everything under one roof, you come to a Premier Academy and the level is there, as well as that friendliness as well, you know. They're not just sawdust, we could be buddies too, you know. Good stuff. Well, it's interesting stuff, guys. I didn't know some of your backgrounds, actually. That's pretty cool. So going back to Stuart and Nula, so you guys, actually, let's talk about your fighting, Stu. So you were with us for quite a while, and we did some amateur stuff. We did some small tournaments. You did a bit of kickboxing, did a bit of jiu-jitsu tournaments. We went to a few of those. But then the show started to hit, right? We did, I remember some real spit and sawdust, horrible places that we went to. We've been warming up in, wrapping hands in kitchens and actually outside ways, getting you warmed up. We've been like real,
there.
Mate. I was doing MMA, like I had a few fights before MMA was, really the only place you could get a cage in this country was at the time Cage Rage, which is pretty much the only show in the UK at the time that was doing that level in a cage. So all the other tournaments were, or shows or fights were on mats, so you just had to go find somewhere and fight. But then I think gyms started to add cages to their studios or to their academies, if you like. And that's when, Stuart, you started fighting, and we used to go to these little rotten places where they had nowhere to warm up. Do you remember? And they were called, what were they called? There were some crazy names of stuff. Ground and Pound Challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some good ones.
Yeah, Clash UK.
Clash, yeah.
I was the champion of that as well.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, that was one of the Maximum Impact. I was their champion as well. There was loads, weren't there? But like, even I think you look back now, 2008, when I started fighting, MMA was still very unknown then, if is that the right words. Like, it wasn't as commercial as it is now. And
nowhere near. Yeah, nowhere near as commercial. We had to really travel. We had to go from, I think we're in London to Leicester to go and find somewhere.
In Leicester, yeah. My first 4 fights were in Leicester. My first 4 fights.
Now the guys that we've got fighting down here now, they're spoiled. We can go from where we are in Harrow, 20 minutes, half an hour in a car, and boom, you've got a major, like a legit level show. Guys like Samuel, Simeon, David Panfield, all those guys that we've got down here that are fighting, you know, for a decent level show, it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And they've got nice changing facilities with mats that you can warm up on. You've got guys wrapping their hands. They supply the gloves for you. We're getting spoiled now. But it
was like when we took the step up to KO. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had our own changing rooms and runners, and we knew the runners, didn't we, Gareth and Nick? Which just, we went from these little
for our students, so it was like, right, go get me some ice, go quick.
Yeah, we were spoilt though, weren't they? And they were good shows. It was a really good show. I really enjoyed fighting on that show. I think it's one of the best shows we fought on. We overtook that place as well when we used to fight. We used to have a lot of people.
Guys that would come up to us after we'd smashed them, they would come and go, "Man, you guys are so intimidating." You know, because we had to turn up in force. Everybody was in the same t-shirt, the same trackies, the same bags, the same shorts, the same hoodies, and we could turn up in force. It was a man. It's like, you know, I don't just fight one of you. We've got to take everybody, which is really. I'm a big believer in that team. I think coming through a British team myself, we travelled everywhere together. We wore the same tracksuits. We ate at the same time. So that team, that unit, takes you through, right? So when you were the first pro guy that we produced down this neck of the woods, how did you feel about being the first pro guy? Is it something that you've thought about now and gone, actually, that was really good, or it was a bit of a milestone for you back then?
You know what? It was weird because I never wanted to do MMA. It didn't appeal to me. When I come to you, it's purely I wanted to do kickboxing, nothing else. I'd watched the MMA and I was like, oh, this is quite good, but I didn't get any of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or wrestling. I was like, this ain't for me. And my background was more Muay Thai, standing in that spot, plugging away, no footwork. And I remember coming down to you guys and, you know, you look at the UFC and everyone now, they've got that hybrid style of striking movement, which I believe you first produced. Personally, from what I saw, you had that Taekwondo, Muay Thai movement. I remember coming down there, and if they were in the pocket, when I first got to Premier, that was it. I'd have them, but they were here, there, everywhere. Kicks coming. I was like, "What's?" And then next, you know, the striking was amazing. And then I remember you saying to me, "Come and try the MMA. Come and try the MMA." And it was that I was going into that striking the MMA, and they're here, there, everywhere, kicking me, turning around, boom, boom. And next minute, I'm on my back, and I was like, and it really frustrated me. And I only found once I got them backed up into that corner or that pocket, that's it, they're done. But I couldn't get near anyone, like little Gareth and that, like. Just here, there, everywhere. He was there, then he's there, boom, cutting the angle, spinning back kicks through the room. I was just getting annihilated. And then I remember you saying to me, because I think I was still going to the pub a lot and wasn't maybe coming to you a couple of times a week. And I remember you sitting me in the office and you said to me, if you keep your head down and train, then you could fight. And I remember thinking about it. And I actually remember going to the pub and then sitting there with my mates and going, yeah, my coach said to me, he said to me, like, if I keep my head down and like train, I could get a fight. And they were like, you'll never do that. What are you doing? That ain't like. And I remember sitting there thinking, right, that's it. I'm going to show you lot. And then I remember just coming back to Premier and then still doing the MMA, but still thinking, oh, I don't like this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I don't like the wrestling. And my first 4 fights, I won all striking. And then it wasn't until, do you remember I fought Andre Felix, which was actually on the first KO show, and I killed him striking. He just kept taking me down, pinning me, and like, and that's when I sort of come up. And I remember you saying to me, like, if you want to carry this on, you really got to get your head into the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling and stuff like that. And I did. We went back to the drawing board. I think we spent about a year on my jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and it just happened like that. And then, you know, I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. If anyone says to me now, should we spar? What do you want to do? Well, let's roll. I'd rather roll over anything. Yeah. And it sort of got that. And I ended up going down the MMA route. If you had said to me when I first started, I'd be doing MMA, I'd be like, nah, but I love it. I absolutely like live and breathe it. And especially that you do have the jiu-jitsu now. And it just sort of went from there. And then, yeah, 14 fights later. Was it 7 and 1 and then 3 and 4? Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
You were the ultimate Ricky Hatton diet guy, right? You came as a chunk, a big lump, and we got down, what, 66 kilos, 6 packs and everything you had, right?
So I'd start a fight camp. You would give me the notice. You'd be like, right, you're fighting in 12 weeks' time on this show, doing that. And I'd be walking around about 84 kg. And I always made weight. I think I've never not made weight. I was one of those guys. If I was strict. I went down to 66.
Man, you were grumpy as hell. A week or 2 before fight, and we're training. You're like, oh man, Stuart is stroppy. You and Sean, super strong.
It's weird because I remember you saying because I remember getting towards the end of the fight. So maybe halfway through the camp, like you'd be shark attacking us, and like I was training 2-3 times a day as well as keeping a job, and you know some guys didn't just quit their jobs to do it. And I remember you going to me like, I know you're ready because you're getting stroppy. Like, and I didn't realise I was doing it. But I look back at it now, and you know, it's because I wanted to be the best I can. You know what I mean? It was like, and things weren't working, and.
But I think you're probably cutting your carbs down, you're tired, you're worn out, your mental stability is probably not there because you're getting run down. It's a tough sport, and we've got to have all the bases covered. You've got to be able to strike, you've got to be able to move, you've got to be defend, you've got to get your wrestling in, you've got to get submissions in, everything, right? So for the guys...
I was training... Sorry, go on.
Go on.
No, so like, I was training five evenings a week with you. I was going to the gym 5 mornings. I was at Brunel then, so I had their facility. So on my lunch break, I was training 5 lunchtimes a week there, as well as getting in runs and, you know, all sorts. Like I was doing Sunday. I was working with sports psychiatrists. I had nutritionists. I was like, you know, I was on it. And I think, when you get to like 2 weeks out from the fight and you've done that every day for 6 days a week. Yeah, I can see why he's getting very grumpy. But I loved it. I enjoyed it.
So with the guys, Taylor and Cheryl, you guys have competed before, but not necessarily in MMA or Stuart's level yet. But how does that competition mindset work for you guys? How do you guys get yourself in mode?
I think with the family appeal, I've had that through my last club as well, and it is the camaraderie. We used to be the black and blue wrecking crew. We were in a blue and black uniform, and as we'd walk in, they thought, evolution here, that's not good. They didn't want to fight us. And it was just that 5 days a week training during lunchtime. I was lucky enough to work in the gym with the guys. For me, I lived, breathed everything. I didn't have to have a different job. I worked at the gym, and it was just fantastic, absolutely brilliant. And again, just other things before you get on the mat was music, just ticking along, getting to your own zone, and then on you go. So for me, it was pretty similar. Just that's it. I lived and breathed it. Absolutely loved it.
I think that sometimes maybe gives people the confidence. If I know when I was fighting 100 years ago, that, you know, if you've done everything you can to prepare, you're like, well, I've done everything I can. So there's no doubt. But I've also had fights where I know that I've slacked or I haven't pushed as hard, and you rock up at the tournament or at the event and you're like, hope this one works out. You know, the most nervous I've been is probably at the time where I haven't prepared as much. So I know, preparation and your team and stuff can definitely help. Yeah. How about you, Taylor?
For me, I'm I'm very competitive. I just want to be the best at anything I do, really. It was the same with rugby. I used to get told off a lot because I would always try and just run through people, try and just score all the points and stuff like that. So when it comes to training, I'm like, if I'll go into a fight, I want to not just win, I want to dominate. I want people to see that I'm the best man in there. So that keeps me driving. And then, like you say, because I'm playing rugby, I'm in a team of 25 lads. Then when you go to places like Premier, and it is like a team atmosphere as well, it sort of just gives that extra boost to keep you pushing through the training.
So how do you find the difference? So let's say, I know for me, I've never been amazingly good at team sports, simply because I think if it is to be, it's up to me. If I win or I lose, it's down to me. As much as my team, of course, will get you to the show, you know, you step into the ring or on the mat or whatever, and I know it's me. How do you find, let's say, with a rugby team, training with a team or playing with a team? Because sometimes, I know with team sport, my son plays a lot of football, that you could have the best game of your life and lose a match, or you can have a little bit of a suspect day and win 10-0. Like, how do you find the difference between martial arts, where you've got a team behind you and you can't reach the heights without the team? Ultimately, when you step in the ring or the mat, it's just you. How do you find that different?
I think for me, I much prefer the fact that I can go into the ring and I put it down to myself. With rugby, I mean, I loved it. I loved the team that I played for. I played quite a high level, Devon in South West England and Exeter Chiefs Academy and stuff like that. So when I played, it was like there was only a couple of us there that were like sort of star players. So even though I was part of a team, it was kind of down to us to almost carry the team. They put the pressure on us, higher level players, to push through. So it's quite strange, because then you've got these other 4 players that you can rely on as well. But then when you step into a ring, you haven't got anyone else to rely on. All you've got to do is put your own mindset and do it yourself. But I find because of the level that I played at rugby, it does transfer well over to my mixed martial arts, because when I played rugby, it was down to I just got to play the best game I've got to play either way. And it was very frustrating if I played an amazing game and we still lost. I used to strop a lot. My stepdad was my coach, and I'd be screaming in the car. When I was younger, I'd be crying and shouting. As I got a little bit older, I'd be swearing and punching. So when it came to martial arts, I was there, like, right, that's it. It's just down to me now. I've got no one else to blame but myself. And it just feels a lot better that I don't have anyone to blame but me when it comes to that.
I can relate with that, because I think even if you have a bad game or you lose, it's still down to me. I can blame me. I can fix everything. If I'm in a team of 10 other people and that guy dropped the ball or that guy wasn't focusing, I can't fix that. I can fix me. Yeah. So, which leads us to our next question to you guys, Stuart and Nula. You guys are in a unique position that not only have you come through the ranks of our academy down here as high-level students, you know, Stu being the MMA fighter, but now you guys have opened your own Premier Academy. So not only did you do it locally down here, you decided you were going to go from London to Devon, pack up both the jobs, the secure jobs that you guys had, and set up an academy in Devon. Before you, I mean, you never had an academy down here. Stuart, you were helping us out with teaching some adults classes, but you decided from then, right, I'm leaving, I'm moving, and I'm doing a different job. What happened? Talk about it.
I think you planted the seed a long time ago. I remember, I think it was Tom's 18th. We all went out and you were saying, yeah, maybe we could have a Premier in Devon and all stuff like that. So it always stuck in my mind.
So what you're saying is I've got to plant in somebody's mind, I've got to have a Premier in Disney in Florida. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Go and plant some seeds, farmer. Plant some seeds. Just got to water. And I think you watered that seed a lot with all the coaching you put over to me. You know, I left school and I never knew what I wanted to do. I fell into plumbing. I hated it, and I was a plumber for 17 years. And then I sort of gone off subject a little bit. So yeah, I didn't want to do plumbing. I never knew what I wanted to do when I left school. Even for 17 years, I didn't know. And I just enjoyed martial arts. You putting things across, watching you teach and stuff like that, and it was really inspirational. And I was like, oh, you know, I could see myself doing this, but I was always a little bit sort of scared of doing it. And it's weird how it all happens. Setting up the academy in Devon, because I knew I didn't want to be in London anymore. I wanted Elsie to grow up, because my family all from London, they moved to Devon, and I knew I wanted Elsie to grow up near my mum and dad and my sister and my nephews and all stuff like that. So I knew I wanted to come down here, but Nula didn't. And at the same time, my nephews wanted to do martial arts. My sister found him a martial arts place in Newton Abbot. And I was like, okay, so being the uncle that of the pro fighter and that, I'm going to come down and watch them. And I went down there and I was just like, what is this rubbish? What is it? Yeah.
I see it so much. Martial arts is so unregulated. Some random guy in a belt can just open up anywhere. It's horrible. Yeah, I see it every day.
It was shocking. And I was just like, but you're not teaching this. Like, when I trained at other clubs, they never really had my full attention, if that makes sense. And I was always sort of questioning things. But when I started training at Premier and learning from you, it was like, wow, is that the hour and a half gone? Like, wow, I enjoyed it so much. Like, I'm dyslexic anyway, and my mind wanders off all the time. But with martial arts and learning from you just kept me focused. And you could see the kids in my nephew's classes, they were bored. And I was like, but why aren't they doing this? And I didn't know that much about the kids' classes because I only taught the adults. So I was like, I'll be getting them doing this. Chris will be good. So then I went back and I searched all around Newton Abbot for a club, because I was like, I don't want them training here. And I couldn't, there was none in that area. And then I had a friend who had a club in Torquay. So when I did go down to my mum and dad's, I'd go and train with him. I messaged him saying, listen, can my nephews come? Now we don't teach kids. And all of a sudden I just saw this, if it's like a gap in the market, there was nothing there. And I was like, these people, like everyone, they need a Premier here. They need a Premier. The kids down here, everyone, they need the Premier, and they need that curriculum and what we've taught and what you've created to be down here. And it just sort of went from there. And I said to Nula about it, and she wasn't up for moving. And it took a long time for me to convince her. A long time. And it just sort of, I don't know, it's definitely meant to be, because is it you line up your ducks? Is that the right word? Or they all just lined up, and we found the gym, and then we found this, and it went. And then I remember coming like, listen, I want to move to Devon, and I want to open a gym and that. And then straight away you was like, do a Premier, and I was like, yeah, cool, sweet, and that was it. So it's like everything just lined up, you know. And then here we are, come to be 2 years. August,
October.
We've lived here. Yeah, October when we opened, we started building it 2 years August. So,
Nula, what was your thoughts when Stuart came home and went, I want to move to Devon?
I just thought another idea. Here we go again, kind of thing. And I never wanted to move to Devon because I always thought it was full of old people. No, there's nothing wrong with old people, but you know, I was like, they're not going to want martial arts. He's like, no, but you're wrong. Yet another argument, you know, come and goes. Because we was gonna do an extension on our house. So I was all excited, getting a kitchen and this, that, and the other. And then when I just thought, actually, you know, we had no family there, did we?
Your mum, everyone had moved away.
Yeah,
both sides of the family.
And then you was working nights, so I was literally at home on my own all the time. So it's a bit like, maybe we should give it a try. And you're quite persuasive, aren't you?
No, I'm right. That's what I was saying.
No, the good thing about one of the good things about shit is he will take the risk and he will make it work. I'm a bit of a safety. I worked in the same job for like 14 years. So for me, that it was out of my comfort zone completely. But
and everyone thought we were mad. Like, you knew where I worked before. I worked my way into that place, and I was taking some serious money. Do you know what I mean? Like, she didn't work. She didn't need to work because I was earning so much money. But I hated it. Hated the job. Everything about it. I would walk out of that because I work nights. I'd walk out 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd driving home, and I was just like, I hate this. I can't do this for the rest of my life.
I think you went from working at Brunel to having not set hours, but you could kind of regulate your life a little bit, and you knew I could be at home here, I'm training here, I'm setting to compete. As soon as you changed jobs, I remember you weren't training much. That meant you worked nights, you weren't at home. So your home life, your training life, everything we would live for is our family and our martial arts. I remember you just saying, I just don't want to do it. I remember.
The balance was just completely wrong. As
much as it's, you know, people would say I'm a risk taker or we're risk takers. I think it's a calculated risk. It's not a risk as if let's just do for sure. Calculated.
I totally underestimated him because he come to me and he's like, look, I've got all this like business plan. I was like that.
When I first met Nula, I couldn't read or write or nothing. My dyslexia, like, how many times do you have to message me about my corrections and spelling, Chris? Do you know what I mean? Like, but I sat there.
He puts on Facebook,
I sat there for months. Like, I was supposed to be going into work on these. Well, it was £1 billion company. It was a billion. It wasn't a million. It was £1 billion company at the time, doing all these jobs and that. And I'd sit there for 12 hours doing research and writing stuff down. And they'd come, have you done your job? I'm like, yeah, I've done it. I haven't. When I went to her, I went with her everything. I was like, there's this. I've worked this out. I've done this. Like, if I sat there for 1,000 hours.
I think there's something about something that you're truly passionate about. You just graft at it. If it's a job and you're paid from 9 to 5, then you work from 9 to 5 and you can't wait to get out the door. But if it's something that you're truly passionate about, I know for me,
that's it. I've never really seen him like this. Do you know what I mean? I knew that you hated all your jobs that you had. You just worked to pay the bills. So yeah, I just thought, give it a go, and it paid off, luckily.
So you've been there. What, nearly 2 years? So 18 months?
Yeah.
Is that right? Like that, how many students you generated in 18 months? How many students you got before the
270. What was it, Shell? 276?
Yeah,
276.
So nearly 280 people in 18 months. So there's something, I think the connection that you have, I think you guys are unique enough. Like, I think the Premier system clearly works. but I think you guys are unique enough that actually you guys, as a personality in the academy, you've got such a experience from not just being a fighter, but coming through our curriculum. But I think you guys, they're super personable people. You know, you care about people. You're very friendly, very open, very outgoing. So I think you're very unique anywhere in the country, not just for Newton Abbot, even if you were down here. You have this uniqueness about you both, that you're super friendly, kind, but legit martial arts people as well. So I think that's so easy for me to look at and go, of course you've got 256, 300 people. Of course you have. You know, when you guys were super nervous, I don't know if it'll work. I don't know. All I need is this many. I'm like, you worry about it. People will come. If you build it.
Same as the day I walked in, I thought I'm going into, paying out this, the kit and everything. Oh my God, it's a Mickey Mouse setup. Walked in. It's like, hang on a minute. Any jobs go? And that was then my joining. Was there 8 months training and thought, what a cracking place. But it was people. I bought into people, not anything else. It was absolutely the people.
And even before Shell worked with us, she was always the one that helped us out. Like when Elsie had chicken box, we did the grading. Didn't like of all the times to have chicken box.
We've been, and I'm not just saying this.
Out.
Like when we first got there, we were like getting students. I feel like they were now they're not even friends; they're like family now. We've been so lucky. There's not, and I'm not just generally saying this. But like I remember sitting there going, what happens if we get this type of shit? And we've been so lucky with her. Look, she's even getting emotional now. We've been so lucky of we've got such a tight knit family down here. Like, and it's that community, and we've like, and I remember you saying, Chris, to me that everyone that comes through the Premier doors to work there like, goes up through the system, which they have. Like I come up through the system, Dion, Jack, Rick, and it's the same. Cheryl and Taylor, we saw them. Was like, you don't need to put an ad out in a paper. I'm looking for these. You just see them, and they're part of the family already. You're like, listen, this is who I want in the academy and they just sort of naturally went into that role, and we've got this big family.
We attract, or you attract, like-minded people. So if you are a certain way of a certain personality, you will attract those friendly, outgoing people. Which is good. So they want to work hard and train because they want to do it, but they also want to do it because, they respect you as their instructor, and you're a nice, personable couple, let's say, so they want to train harder and give everything we can. I think that's the difference between just being an instructor with a 9-to-5 job who rocks up in the evening going, what should we teach today? So then a professional martial artist who can plan the classes, the day, and look after everybody as much as they can. It's a good success story, because not only are you the first pro fighter we had, you're the first guy that's gone off somewhere else so far away to open an academy, and it's rocking down there. And I can see it when I go down there. I can see the camaraderie that you guys have, and it's really nice to see, and it's infectious. So it's nice that everyone goes out, hangs out, and it's fun. So I have one last question for you guys before we go. People have been asking on Facebook, do you have a favorite technique, a favorite move, combo, something that works for you? Do you have a favorite move? All of you guys.
Go on, Cheryl, you go first, ladies first.
Oh my goodness, it's the spinning hook kick for me. Every time, it was always the 2-pointer when I was training in freestyle. It was the showpiece, it was the showcase. And when you had a crowd around you on the mat and you were like, yeah, got on. And off you go, 2 points, thank you very much. And it's just, I think from the freestyle background for me, the showy, the flighty stuff, I'd still really enjoy. So yeah, for me, that's mine.
Spin hook. I like a spin hook as well. It's my favorite. I think it's flashy as hell, but works.
Works, yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Taylor.
I think mine would be the spinning back kick. Because I'm not the biggest of people. I haven't got a hell lot of power, more speed than anything, but I've put a few big guys down from just a perfectly placed spinning back kick. No power, just, I think definitely that would be my favourite technique.
Good work. Nice. Yeah, I like those two. Okay, guys, what do we got? Nula, what's your favourite technique, Nula?
Oh, I do like just a basic knee or an elbow. I don't just the aggressive side.
It's all about the voice line.
Yeah, because obviously I trained years ago with you guys, and family happens, building a gym happens and stuff. Family life gets in the way. But now obviously we do our ladies class. Shell teaches in the morning. I'm back to training. Yeah, I'm back on the mat. So love it. Literally love it. So yeah, when Shell says throw a knee or an elbow in, that.
All right, Stewie, last one. Favourite technique, my man?
Oh, do you know what? I've got loads, but I do like liver shots. I think they're good to play with. But
Yeah, you do.
But I tell you one thing, I love leg kicks, taking people's legs out. Whether it's an inside leg kick to that thigh or chopping down onto the outside of the thigh. I think that's what my game. I come out, set everything up. Once I've hit those legs and I see that they're limping a little bit and they're slowing down, then I'm going to pick you apart. So I love, and I catch everyone with those leg kicks, everyone. I think it's as well. I can see when I kick them, you can just see that look in the eyes, like they felt it as well, which I quite like, because I can just see it in their eye, like, oh, okay, yeah, I felt that. A few of them, see them limping, I'm like, right, that's it. And it works for me now that I'm the older, slower, fatter instructor. I'm not as fit and as fast as these, so I've got to chop away at them.
Slow everybody down. Welcome to my world.
Yeah, that's it. Slow them down to my pace. So yeah, the leg kicks. Love leg kicks.
Lovely. All right, guys. So look, we're going on, but I appreciate your time. I know your students are going to be excited to watch this. I'm looking forward to coming to Devon when all this craziness is over. I'm going to teach some classes and hang out with you guys. It's always a good vibe when I'm down there. But well done on your success, guys. And Shell and Taylor, it's nice to have you guys on the team. Thank you very much for all your hard work and help as well. Shell's classes on there. I know the ladies are loving those classes on Zoom, which is a real good added bonus. So guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll upload this in the next couple of days, and I'm sure, yeah, everyone's going to enjoy watching it. All right, guys.
Cool, and thanks to everyone else at Premier, all the instructors.
Yeah, thanks to everyone.
And to Jenny and Ian, that's always getting phone calls from us about random stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, guys.
Taylor, thanks, Shell.
See ya. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.